Hi, I'm Andre and I'm a black nerd, and it's time for another Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episode recap. Turtle Power, the Arena of Carnage. Let me just say, if you are a fan of the 2003 Ninja Turtle series, which I have seen the first 2 seasons of now officially, you're gonna probably have some flashbacks when watching this episode. So this thing starts off hilarious. They're in that hologram arena, you know, that Fugitoid set up so they could continuously train and fight, and they're always fighting holograms of their old foes. You know, they always have Tiger Claw show up or Rocksteady and Bebop, and I just keep waiting for Tupac to show up in that thing. This time it looks like Shredder's arena. Shredder's in the background. It was just so good to hear Kevin Michael Richardson as Shredder again. Like, we haven't heard from him in a while, and you know, since the last time we saw him. And what's so awesome about it is it's done like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat style. Leonardo even does, he even like hits one of them and just goes, Shoryuken! And I was like, oh, nice. And then when Michelangelo fights, he's fighting Razar, and he's punching him and kicking him, and then Razar does that thing where he's like standing in one place and the stars are around him, and then it goes, finish him. And Michelangelo pumps his head up like a balloon, holds his head like a balloon, and it goes, balloonality. Impressive. References. But the fun and games are over because the Fugitoid finds the Triceratons ship that has the first piece of the Heart of Darkness, the black hole generator, and they have to go get it. Turtles go onto the ship using stealth mode. April and Casey want to go, but Fugitoid was like, no, you gotta stay behind. You're not as stealthy as the Turtles. And I love that April threw a little bit of shade at Casey Jones. She's like, yeah, the Turtles are more stealthy than we are, but I'm getting close. What? Casey Jones apparently ain't stealthy enough. And I also love the plan of them trying to get on the ship. They show a hologram of the Triceratons ship and showing where they're gonna try to get to. And I was like, oh man, this feels like Star Wars right now. Like when they're trying to figure out where to get into the Death Star or Starkiller base. The shell awakens. The turtles sneak onto the ship in stealth mode, but of course it isn't long before they're caught. They're put into a room. They're opening up an air vent so they can shoot them out into space. They even took their helmets. So they thought the turtles were gonna die, but the turtles of course have this style of meditation that they've learned where they just are able to sit and be able to meditate, don't have any problems with breathing. And I swear, I watched a lot of the 2003 episodes in a marathon. I feel like that's something they did in the 2003 series. You know, 2K3 people, vouch me on this. Then the Emperor shows up in hologram form. There's a lot of holograms in this. There's more holograms in this than the gym movie. The Emperor's like, oh, these terrapins, they are impressive. We should take them to the arena. And yes, sure enough, the turtles are pitted inside of Triceraton arena. This is where I was saying flashback time, because if you watch the 2003 series, they also had this setup as well. I was having like deja vu. I felt like that I had that So Raven eye where it's like, but instead of going in the future, I was reminded of when I watched that Turtle Nation marathon on Nicktoons Network and saw this episode. So of course the turtles are fighting these disgusting monsters. There's this one that comes out and it's got like multiple tentacles and lots of eyes, and they find out there's this one spot they have to hit, this little white spot, and then pus comes out of that. And I love the Triceratons audience, the audience of the Triceratons. It's like they're at a sporting event. They're freaking cheering. They got big giant foam hands. It has the one finger up, just like number one. They got those. They're drinking beer, like bumping heads and stuff. I was just waiting for a Triceraton to have his face painted. That's the only thing they were missing at this point. Or them to go, Aussie, 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 oi, oi, oi. Oh, turtles, you suck. Let's go, turtles. All that, just throw all that in there and then put it on Sports Center. When they're not fighting, they're inside of this jail cell and they're next to a neighbor named Zeno. And Zeno is like talking to them, like, hey, you know, you're not gonna escape here, but if you just fight with honor, you can get through this thing. And they become buddies. Now this again is gonna start feeling familiar because if you remember in the 2003 series, there was a Triceraton named Traximus, and he was also a warrior and he was befriending the turtles. And that's how Zeno is in this one. He's like giving them tips, talking to them, befriending them. But of course, things get a little weird when in one of the fights, the turtles now have to fight Zeno. And Zeno in this thing is huge. He's this gigantic Triceraton that apparently has been eating his Wheaties. He has this giant like stone hammer. And what I love about it is it's like a giant mallet. It's gray, it's blockish. And if you look at its face, it almost looks like it has a thwomp face. And they're all like, come on, dude, bro, come on. We were friends. We were talking in the jail cell. We ate slugs together. We're cool. He's like, hey, I don't want to fight you, but if I beat you, I get out of here for free. So, since the fight is going on and all the Triceratons are at the fight, April, Casey, and Fugitoid figured that this was a good time to sneak aboard the ship themselves and save the turtles, as well as find the piece of the black hole generator. April and Casey get away, but Fugitoid is captured and brought to the Emperor, and the Emperor is like, oh, hey, what's up, Fugitoid? It's been a while. How you been? By the way, when you gonna make me that black hole generator so I can stop flying around here and find all these pieces? I tell you what, those your friends down there, right, getting their butts kicked? I'll let them go if you make me a heart of darkness. Does this sound familiar to you? It's great, but I have a feeling I've watched this before. I feel like I'm having a flashback to another cartoon, which is having a flashback to a book. It's like the turtle of life. Cowabunga booyaka shot. Zeno says the reason why he was captured is because he was a traitor, because he didn't agree with the plans of the Emperor to make the Heart of Darkness black hole generator to destroy worlds. It's like, that's not how I roll. That's kind of a coward's way. The turtles are like, come on, man. If we don't want this Heart of Darkness, you don't want this Heart of Darkness, let's work together. And then friends, they fight everybody together. And I love that Zeno looks up to the Emperor, is like, you want to destroy worlds? Then you are a coward, like a Krang. And I was like, dang, a Krang is an insult in this town. Don't you use the K word. That's Krang's word. Krang, please. We don't take kind to you Krangs running around here. These Krangs are ruining our neighborhood. Did any Krangs get nominations for the Oscars? I don't think so. That's messed up. Jada Pinkett Krang is gonna have a boycott, a Krang-cot. Shut up, Andre. While April and Casey are running around the ship, they find the black hole generator piece, but it is so giant. So April uses that gun that the Triceratons has that makes giant bubbles and puts it in a giant bubble. And there was this nice little comedic piece. It was really short, but it made me laugh, of them trying to pull this piece inside of the bubble out of the door. And of course, the door was too small. So they had to like pull it out. And then when they pulled it out, it landed on Casey Jones, and like and April had to push it, and then she like bumped into something else. You know what it reminded me of? Remember that Family Guy Star Wars when they're trying to take the couch? That's what it reminded me of. It was just a cute little quick funny scene. So April and Casey are trying to run out with the black hole generator piece. The turtles and Zeno are trying to run, or Zeno stayed behind. I'm sorry, Zeno like, get out of here, I got this. But the turtles ran away with Fugitoid trying to get out. They even took the Emperor hostage. They were like freaking gangsters. They're like, yeah, come mess with us. Pew pew pew. Don't do it. I was like, dang, Raph. So they opened up that hole that we saw earlier and just held the breath, Guardians of the Galaxy style, and just jumped like freaking Jordan from one ship to their ship and flew away. And they're like, we out. Peace. I was like, dang, that was hardcore. I especially love that April, she still has that little piece that the Aeons gave her, and it made her glow. I don't know how Casey Jones made it, because he ain't got no psychic powers. Because the turtle's like, we can meditate. She's like, I got this gem. And Fugitoid's like, I'm a robot. And Casey the whole time must have just been like, get on the ship, please. Everyone's excited because they got one piece of the black hole generator. They just got to find the other two pieces, and they can change the history that happened to them from the last season. Michelangelo tries to yell out a Booyaka Shah, but can't because he's got food stuff in his mouth. The Fugitoid just pushes him aside and goes, Booyaka Shah! And I was like, all right, Fugitoid, David Tennant. And also kudos to Michael Ironside. He was the voice of the Emperor, and John DiMaggio was the voice of Zeno, which is really good job on that, man. It's always cool to see him come back and play different characters on this show. This is a great episode, man. Yes, it is very much a flashback to the 2003 series and a flashback to old turtle tales of yore, but it's a good one, man. And they did a really good job with this. A lot of things happened in this episode, while at the same time it never felt rushed. And this one's just solid. This is one of these very solid episodes. It's action-packed, entertaining, has its comedic moments, has its dramatic moments, has its action moments, and also progresses the overall story arc that we have going on for this season. Thumbs up, A+ on this one. Good job. Let me know what you thought about this episode, and what other characters, stories, or elements from the 2003 series would you like to see in the 2012 series? Let me know. And if you're new here, please subscribe to Black Nerd Comedy. I do all kinds of nerdy, geeky videos every single week, and I always give you that Ninja Turtles recap and some Power Ranger recaps. They're coming. I swear to you. I promise. They coming. I love you like a play cousin. I'm Audi 5000 Chain Chomp. Yelp.